Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, folks. Michael Zuber, one rental at a time, back with a good friend of the channel, now content creator for the amazing course, How to Get Started, One Rental at a Time, Brian Adamson. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Dude, one of the things I love about this channel and being consistent is you start to attract amazing individuals such as yourself. And then not only do you attract them, right? You've been on the show many times, they help you, all of those things, but eventually they reach out and go, I want to contribute. And this is something you've done is you wanted to contribute to my course and the channel. And it is such it's an honor really to have this happen. And you offered up and have now created bonus content where you are strong. And frankly, I am weak. I have never done out-of-state investing. Don't know anything about it. It is something you have been doing for years and teaching thousands to do. Right. You today live in Orlando and you invest in Detroit as one of your markets. So
Yeah.
I just want to thank you for doing this. It is truly, it warms my heart to know that this is something that was important to you. So why don't we tell people a little bit about you if this is the first time you're seeing you on my channel, and then we'll get into what you've created.
Sure. And just to say this, Mike, I also want to tip my hat to you for always looking for opportunities to bring more value to your following, because most people don't believe in collaboration. And that's the apex of everything that you do, right? You want to get the most viable information out to the people. So I appreciate being able to be a part of it.
It's I know, and I've known all my life, I'm good at a few things. And I want to go surround myself with people that compliment me. And especially in real estate, there's so many ways to be really, really successful. If the answer was, hey, buy and hold in your backyard, I got a story. But that's like 1/100th of what is possible. So yeah, out-of-state investing is huge. You do it really successfully. Why don't you remind the folks just how long you've been doing it, your story?
Yeah, absolutely. From, as you mentioned, I live here in Orlando. I'm from Detroit. Started investing in Detroit back in 2006, right before the market correction. So I bumped my head every way that you could think possible, from foreclosures to losing my shirt to then on the rebound, being able to put some solid infrastructure and processes together after going out and getting mentorship, investing in myself. And, done over 100, fix and flip and wholesale projects, and currently own soon to be 80 doors. Got like another 10 under contract.
That's nice.
Yeah. And I think the thing I'm most proud of, though, is being able to now pass the knowledge that I've acquired over the last 16 years into others' hands and watch them build the lives that they want for themselves. And so one of which, what I would say is the thing that makes us different in the marketplace is that we invest remotely. That became a default strategy for me because I lived in Orlando for 11 years. Detroit is one of my primary markets, although I've invested in other markets as well. But essentially, I never want to be relegated to the looks that only one market can give me. And so I like to go where the best deals are. And as much as I love Orlando to live in, not always the best deals with the best margins exist here, at least for me and my margin profile and what I like. And so I find that being able to have the agility to pivot and go into other marketplaces that may have better equity positions, better cash on cash returns has just been favorable for me. And so now we've got students in 4 countries, including the US. So Denmark, Japan, Afghanistan.
Oh, wow.
All throughout the US, people out your way in California, Mike, who have adopted practices to get out of Cali and invest elsewhere. And it's just essentially putting the right systems, processes, and infrastructure together. That's paramount to being successful in business in general, and more specifically, if you want to do this remotely, you absolutely have to have it. You've got to be able to replicate yourself by putting strong boots on the ground in place. You got to know how to do strong market analysis and things of that nature. And those are all the things that we teach in our mentorship program, and those things that I've given away for free as a bonus to your viewers.
Yeah. So I want to tease a little bit because I've been through the content, right? One of the things people may not realize is I watch and review and frankly approve anything that I'm going to add to anything in my era. So one of the things that just a tease of a little bit value, you gave a website that I think people need to appreciate and understand. Because a lot of people ask me where, or they go, should I go here or there? And I'm like, let me just tell you one more time. I know one market. It's called Fresno, California. You can name any other market in the country. My answer is the same. Don't know. So you listed a site, I think it's called bestplaces.net.
Yeah.
Why don't you talk about why that is so important if people are just kind of like, where should I go? Why is that a place? And then also warn them, because I'm going to guess it's a place they could get lost if they're not careful.
For sure. For sure. Bestplaces.net, believe it or not, I've been using for probably 7 years now, close to. And to your point, there is a wealth of information there, any and everything you could think of a specific city, zip code, all the way down into the area. You can really get as granular as you like to get, understand the dynamics of the population, understand the job economy, understand the makeup of the real estate market, between whether, the percentage of home ownership versus renters in that particular marketplace, which is extremely important, right? You can flip in the rental market, but you wouldn't want to do it the other way around, right? And those types of things, where you can really drill in and get all the data to at least give you an understanding of, is this a marketplace that I should be in?
Right.
And if so, then you could go a step further and start to reach out to agents and other, I will call specialists in that particular marketplace, to then start to drill down into, what price point should you be at, because every market is different. Every market is different in terms of, what's the most desired ARV, what's the highest percentage of home ownership at a particular ARV.
Yeah.
And for me as a flipper, that's probably where I want to start. That's the sweet spot of the market. Right. I don't want to go and chase excluding California, New York, I don't want to go and chase the $1 million home flips.
You don't want to do that here either. Not good.
Because when you look at the data, it's less than 2% that own properties in that marketplace, right? At those price points. So while HGTV and other shows may make that look sexy, it's one of the fastest ways to get you out of business. And so the data just helps you to be more responsible, more prudent about your approach, and just start to answer some preliminary questions that you should be asking yourself about a marketplace before you ever think about writing an offering. Yeah.
So let me just tie this in with like principle number 1 of my course, right? If you take my course, step 1, I come out hard, like right in your face. You got to define a buy box. What I want people to do is, especially if you're not sure, right? Some people come to my course and they can tell me like, my buy box is this zip code, 3-4 bed. If you're wired in, you're wired in. Most of you come to me because you want to do real estate, but you're unsure. I think kind of taking this bestplaces.net idea with your buy box, I would tell people, get a buy box, then go to bestplaces.net. Do not go to bestplaces.net and then decide on a buy box. The reason I say that in the beginning is I'm trying to teach you a skill. You have to have a buy box so you can repeat it. Once you learn the skill of learning a buy box, right, which takes daily repetition and all of that, then you could after 90 days, after 100 days, you can start to say, great, I know Huntsville, Alabama, just picking something, right? This stuff. Then you could say, well, okay, now that I know how to do that, let me poke around the country. And I'm so afraid. I'm just so afraid that people will confuse activity with forward progress. If you go to bestplaces.net and get lost for 3 weeks looking at 17 different cities and locales, you may feel better, but I have failed you.
That's right.
That is not okay.
It's true for me. Absolutely. I agree with that emphatically, Mike.
Yeah.
You got to go there. You got to know what you're looking at, what you're looking for.
Yes.
And then from that point, you can start making forward motion and forward progress.
Totally agree. The other thing that was paramount, and frankly, I would not have added your material if this wasn't in it, and it obviously was and was in there multiple times, is if you're going out of state, the team is paramount. It is going to take the most work. It's going to take management, communication. You are only as good as your team, right? When you're investing in Detroit from Orlando, and it takes work.
That's right. That's right. It's the foundation, essentially. You know, I don't care how good the deal is. If you don't have people that can help you execute, you got no business.
Oh,
And so it's you got to spend a lot of time. I say you got to be slow to hire and quick to fire.
amen.
You know, spend just as much time doing your due diligence on the market as you should on the people that you hire to help you out in that market.
Yeah, let me see if you agree with this. And if you don't, it's totally fine.
Mhm.
I believe a great team can make a bad market okay. I believe a bad team can make a great market horrible.
1000%.
Okay, cool.
1000%. I mean, you can go into emerging markets with the right type of people, and you can incrementally start to really kill it in that market. And before
Exactly.
you know it, it becomes a hotbed. But the other way around, you're right, it's suicide.
Yes. You are guaranteed you're going to lose money spectacularly. It's just going to be it's going to be fast. It's going to be continuous. It's going to be ugly. Yeah,
No doubt.
no doubt, no doubt. The other thing that I really liked when I boiled down what I went through in your bonus section, it really is where I am weak because I just don't have experience. What you are really trying to do is highlight all the places where people need to create processes and procedures, because it is that gives you the ability to unplug, manage from afar, de-risk. I liked how you kind of broke it down and gave them examples of all of that. That was very valuable, I thought.
Yeah, I trial and error, right?
Yes,
and you know, it's fortunate that I was the one that endured all of that, so that now, you know, I'm really putting people in position to be able to mitigate those big costly mistakes up front by just building a solid foundation and understanding. Because, you know, we live in a society now. I got a 19, soon to be 20-year-old daughter. They want to know why for everything. It's no more just tell somebody like you should do this, right?
Why,
just because it's the right thing to do. They want to know why. And so I try to be very intentional with telling people why. This is the cause and effect of you doing or not doing it this way, because that way you got all the information and hopefully you go out and you do something responsible with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Again, I think out-of-state investing is amazing. I do think, I mean, I'm going to say it this way. I think a lot of people go to out-of-state investing because they get excited about cheap. It's not about cheap. Right?
It's not close to being about cheap.
Yeah,
you know, I give you an example. I've got a student down in South Florida. He's done a couple successful flips in Miami, but about, I would say 15, 16 months ago, the market started giving him some challenging looks, and he was starting to send over deals that I'm like, there's no way, the margins are too skimp. I wouldn't do them. Yeah. So I challenged him. I said, listen, you got to get out of your comfort zone. Yeah. Your business is on a ventilator right now. Like, you spent 4 months, you've done no deals since the last flip. You got to do something. You got to make a move. Yeah. And I forced him to do that. And he looked and he went and found an emerging market in Michigan. It was far from Detroit, one that I wasn't even privy to. And he studied it. And I looked up and he had did 3 deals in 90 days. Yeah. You know, and so it happens to everybody, to where, and obviously, Mike, you getting a lot of looks in Fresno. But people need to understand what it took for you to build that kind of business in Fresno. So like similar to me in Detroit, I get deals without looking for them just because people know that I perform in that market. Yes. So it may not be as challenging for me to find deals as it may for other people who haven't established themselves in that marketplace. So I just wanted to highlight that piece, because people shouldn't take for granted that you're able to have the success you have in one market just because you know how to go and find all the best deals in Fresno. I know a lot of the time they find you. Yeah, no, without question. I would say every deal I did in 2020 and 2021 is because my network brought it to me. It was impossible in my market to find something on the MLS. It was just, I wrote over 100 offers, got nothing. Wow. Right. So again, yeah. But again, I'm not done, right? The beauty about real estate is it's a people business. And when you perform, you get network, you ask for referrals, you give people business, you make connections. That's one of the things I love about you, Brian, is you are a giver, right? And you're making connections and you're positive and you're leading by example. So when you said you wanted to create this bonus content, it was just an easy yes answer. Any other, because again, I do love the fact that, you know, you live where you want, Orlando. Yeah. You invest where the numbers make sense.
for Detroit. And those could be, again, live where you want, invest where the numbers make sense.
Yeah.
What else do you want to tell people that's in there? What, give them a tease about your academy as we wrap this up.
I think that there's a lot of courses out there, and I'm not knocking it because we also have courses or had, but I wanted to create something that had more of the accountability, more of the mentorship. And so we kind of revamped our course to like a 2.0, and we created a mastery to where there was a group coaching component on a weekly basis. People can touch in, have the sense of community, the sense of network, and like I said, in the accountability piece, which is important, just to keep a pulse on things. And to each his own, right? For me, and that's the unique thing about being a creator, is that, you got the autonomy to make those decisions. And while people had success just by utilizing the course, I wanted to have more of a touch on who was out there doing what.
Yeah.
I believe that became more prevalent with this new model that we've created.
Yeah. So. One of the happy accidents of one rental at a time is I created a private Facebook group just for students, right? So the only way in is to buy the course, right? So I did that selfishly. I did it because I sold software most of my life, and you had to have a spot for frequently asked questions, or FAQs. I will admit to this day that I created that Facebook group thinking that, hey, this is where I'll put all the questions that I get all the time. And again, I'm not a huge social media guy, right? Never had a Facebook account till I quit. And what I've seen is that Facebook group is the happiest place on the internet.
Yeah.
Because I can control who's in it.
Yeah.
And everybody in there is winning, asking questions, networking. They're posting their wins, deals, right? People follow me on YouTube, right? Daily financial news, all this stuff. But now they're in the group and they're like, look, Mike said this on, January 2nd, it came true. And here's my deal. And here's a book selfie, like your daughter sent me, right? Book selfie in front of their units. It's I think back where you were going, or at least what I heard you say, is that community aspect
is everything, man.
Is everything. I'm shocked. I freely admit, who knew? I guess a lot of people knew. I didn't know. It's amazing.
No, for real. For us, is that much more gratifying to understand the effectiveness of what we're doing. Right.
Every day I go there, I feel good.
If we're not understanding that, then we're kind of missing the point. We might as well just go do our own stuff. If you're going to pour into people and, give people these type of resources, I think as a content creator, as a leader in the industry, that it's incumbent upon you. It's your responsibility to really understand the effectiveness of what you're doing. And so that feedback loop is phenomenal. And then to give them the additional reassurance of knowing that they have a sense of community, because as you know, when you get started in this business, typically you're an enigma in your peer group.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have those people that you can tap on the shoulder and ask a question to. And so you feel like, although I'm doing this, I'm still on an island by myself. So, having mentorship programs and the Facebook groups and all of that is essential. Yeah.
And I'm only going to keep this for students. If you are one of my students and you're being shy, just introduce yourself. You'd be amazed at all the positive people out there.
No kidding.
It's awesome stuff. So I want to thank you. Where can people go to find you, see what's going on with you?
Brian_Adamson1 on Instagram. That's the best place to find me. We talk to people in our DMs. We really talk to people in our DMs. I just love engaging with people because, to your point, Mike, 90% of what we do is people oriented. The 10% is the X's and O's, and we talk about that till we blue in the face, but that's not fun. It's about encountering people. Everybody's got different situations. And one thing I know is that real estate solves a lot of problems for a lot of people, man.
Amen to that. Folks, again, Brian's content is, by the time this video is loaded, will already be in the course. It will be under the out-of-state investing. It'll just be a bonus section. It will be his name. I add bonus sections when I get content creators I trust, and just keep adding for free. It's one of my goals, is just to keep adding stuff where I am weak, and that is out-of-state investing. So Brian_Adamson1 on Instagram. Send him a note. Let him know what you think. Thanks, buddy.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mike.
You got it.